Deku's new form is freaking awesome, but is he about to attain Quirk singularity and destroy Shigaraki? Or is the villain about to steal all of Deku's quirks right here and now? I can't believe that Deku is making this insane gamble. That reveal at the end was just crazy, so let's get into it. You guys know how this works. If you enjoy my MHA content and you want to see more in the future, leave a quick like right now for that YouTube algorithm. And listen to me right now, guys. We are literally like 4K away from 2 million subscribers. Do me a huge favor and subscribe right now. We're so close. The previous chapter featured Deku using whatever creative methods he could to get the better of Shigaraki in battle. He was especially relying on Black Whip, both to trick Shigaraki's newly acquired danger sense and to envelop his own body with the Black Whip tendrils in order to allow himself to keep moving even after pushing himself past his own limit. He basically used Black Whip to reinforce his muscles and tendons from the inside, essentially fusing Black Whip to his body. Overall, Deku once again showed amazing skill in combining all of his different quirks together in order to hold his own against the overpowered monster that is awakened Shigaraki. Deku even managed to smash Shigaraki's arm into pieces, but the villain was able to easily regenerate, and he also used Ragdoll's former quirk Search to fight back against Deku's clever diversionary tactics. The focus of the chapter then shifted to the fact that Deku still wants to save little Tenko Shimura from the clutches of what Tomura Shigaraki has become. Shigaraki is insulted by the very idea that he is still Tenko on the inside, and he shows Deku and the One For All Vestiges the inside of his Vestige world, where he says he overcame and buried little Tenko inside a dark concrete sphere. Shigaraki says that Tenko is dead and he is in control. His worldview is in control, and trying to save Tenko is utterly pointless. Even Nana's Vestige tried to convince Deku to stop trying to save her grandson. Some people can't be saved, and Deku has to destroy Shigaraki as soon as possible. But Deku refuses. He says that Tomura didn't overcome Tenko. He simply put a lid on him by burying him inside that dark sphere. Deku vows to shatter that lid to pieces by any means necessary, and he refuses to give up no matter what. At the very end of the chapter came a crazy twist as All Might's Vestige saw Star and Stripe's Vestige still inside Shigaraki's Vestige world. She pointed to a crack in Shigaraki's dark sphere, implying that the sphere can in fact be broken and that Tenko can be rescued. The second user believes that the only way to achieve this is from inside Shigaraki. The only way to achieve it is to allow Shigaraki to steal even more of One For All and its quirk factors. The latest chapter starts off with a quick explanation for why we saw Star and Stripe at the end of the last chapter. Back when New Order had infiltrated Shigaraki's All For One Vestige world and started attacking its quirk factors from the inside, Star noticed that there was a sad child in there. She saw the child through a crack in that dark metallic sphere that Shigaraki had constructed, which seems to prove that Deku's theory was right. Tomura didn't actually overcome Tenko, he simply hid him away and put a lid on him. Now, for some reason, the real All Might seems to be also getting this information, as if he was having a vision of Star and Stripe. It could be that something is happening with his connection to his own Vestige inside of One For All, or it could be that One For All itself has begun to fall apart after Shigaraki managed to steal the fourth user's quirk factor. All Might is clearly worried that something bad could be happening to the One For All quirk, and if something bad does happen, Deku and all of Japan are basically screwed because Shigaraki will destroy them all. Back on the battlefield, Tomura also saw the vision of Star, and he is confused as to why she would be there because he knows that he already destroyed her in battle. One possibility is that the star he is seeing is an ember of New Order that has stuck around inside his Vestige world even after Star's physical death. I mean, we already know that this kind of thing is possible with One For All and its Vestiges, so I wouldn't be surprised if the same type of thing could happen with Star. Meanwhile, Deku is taking a beating from Shigaraki, but all the while he continues to talk to the second user, Kudo. He asks Kudo what he meant by what he said at the end of the last chapter. Why would he say that the time has come for Deku to part ways with One For All? Kudo explains that the dark metallic sphere that Shigaraki showed them inside his quirk factor represents all of the anger and frustration of his past, and all the traumatic memories that made him who he is today. He has managed to bring all of these negative emotions together in order to create a solidified sphere of hatred that motivates him to keep fighting with incredible will and determination. But All Might's Vestige realized that there was a crack in that sphere. The crack that showed itself during the fight with Star. The crack that proves that Tenko Shimura is still in there somewhere deep within the sphere of hatred. Because this crack is an internal mental wound for Shigaraki, he can't just use super regeneration to fix it. And so, Kudo believes that this crack is the best hope they have of actually defeating Shigaraki. The villain is too strong to be defeated from the outside. In terms of physical power, he is practically unstoppable. But if they can transfer One for All to Shigaraki in a way that increases the size of the crack until the entire sphere breaks, they will be able to reach his true consciousness. They will be able to reach Tenko Shimura. This is insanely risky, of course, but it may be the only plausible way of actually defeating Shigaraki before he destroys Japan. Not everyone agrees with this plan, and in particular thinks that this could backfire. Instead of being hurt by the transference, Shigaraki might just absorb One for All and use it against Deku in battle, which would result in complete defeat for the heroes and in the complete destruction of all of Japan. But Kudo believes it all depends on how the transfer is made. If they do it right, Shigaraki will take damage and the crack within the dark sphere of his psyche will widen. But yes, it is very risky, and that's why Kudo volunteers to allow himself to be absorbed by Shigaraki next in order to test the waters. When the fourth user's quirk factor was stolen, Deku still got to keep the rest of One for All, including all of its accumulated power. So they can now do the same thing with Kudo and Gear Shift. En is worried that if the villain is able to use Gear Shift against Deku, then it's gonna be all over. So he actually suggests that he should be the one to go, because if Shigaraki uses his quirk, Smokescreen, that won't be that much of a game changer and it won't affect Deku as negatively as an attack with Gear Shift. But Kudo believes that if Gear Shift is transferred to Shigaraki, then all of the recoil that comes with it will be transferred as well. If Shigaraki tries using Gear Shift, then he will be the one to feel the recoil from Deku repeatedly overusing Gear Shift instead of Deku himself. At least that's the way that I understand it, and that will then do significant damage to Shigaraki, so it could actually help Deku in battle. Even Bruce, the third user, is skeptical of Kudo's strategy, and Kudo agrees that yes, it's a huge risk, but with how things stand now, with Deku exhausted and pushing himself to the limit and Shigaraki intent on destroying all of Japan, fighting the villain from the inside seems to be the only way. Nana then steps in and says that Deku is hesitating to do this, not because he's afraid that he won't be able to win without Gear Shift, but because One for All is so special and important to him. This is not just a quirk to him, it is a precious gift that he received from his idol, and it is the thing that allowed him to fulfill his dream of being a hero. So the thought of willingly allowing even a part of One for All to be taken by Shigaraki is absolutely terrifying to him. But the time for debating quickly ends because Shigaraki attacks once again, and Kudo tells Banjo and Yoichi to take care of Deku as he attempts to carry out his risky plan. Kudo then tells Deku that the rest is up to him, and asks him one more time if he's willing to do this. Deku says that yes, he is, and in the very next moment, a bunch of Black Whip tendrils rush at Shigaraki and rip his right arm off once again. In the final panels, we see that Deku has attained a new form. A form in which he has essentially merged his body so closely with Black Whip that the tendrils appear to be a part of Deku's body. They are interwoven with his muscles and tendons. They pop out of his body like extra appendages, ripping his shirt in the process, and they even seem to take the form of a dark mask around his face. Even Shigaraki is shocked by Deku's new appearance, and he says that right now Deku doesn't look like a hero at all. And I guess he's got a point. Deku's new form looks very dark, almost like a Venom Deku or Spawn Deku. But aside from looking dark and cool, I wonder what this form can actually do. Has Deku now attained the ability to merge his body with Black Whip to an even greater degree? And if so, what kind of new powers do you think he might possess? Give me your thoughts and theories down in the comments. If you guys watch my videos regularly, then you know how long I've been saying that I would like to see Deku unlock Quirk Singularity, where all of his different quirks stop being separate quirks and merge into a single super quirk that combines the elements of all the other quirks, but also has its own unique powers and abilities. With Deku learning to combine his quirks more and more effectively, and with him now unlocking a new form by essentially fusing Black Whip to his body, I think we might be heading to the point of Quirk Singularity with Deku. And honestly, I can't wait to see what Deku's potentially world-crushing super quirk would actually look like. But while we can speculate about Deku's power-ups, we can't forget the crazy strategy that the heroes are apparently planning to adopt. They want to willingly give up more one-for-all quirks to Shigaraki, starting with Gear Shift, in order to go and fight the villain from the inside. This is exactly what I predicted would happen in my previous chapter review, but predicting it doesn't change the fact that this is a massive risk and it could backfire catastrophically. What do you guys think? Is the risk of this strategy worth it? Would you risk it if you were Deku? Let me know down below. If you're looking for another epic MHA video to watch next, check out our video where we ranked the 13 strongest multiple quirk users in the series. Link on screen and in the description. If you enjoy my MHA videos, you want to see more in the future, leave a quick like to let me know. And once again, we are only like 4,000 subscribers away from 2 million. Do me a huge favor and subscribe right now. We are so close.